Hi, this is Jim, and we're going to go through the futures market real quick. The S&P, it made bars above the bands, and now it's come down and tested the lower band. I think it's going to head higher from here. I think this is just a test of the lower band, but if it were to break lower, then we'd have to take another look at it. But right now, I'm still bullish on the S&P. And one thing about bonds and stocks trade opposite each other. And bonds is putting in a sell signal here as far as I can see. If it follows through on the downside, it's made like a head and shoulders kind of slanting upwards top, and it looks like it's just breaking down to the downside. And if this follows through to the downside, I think that will be bullish for stocks. So we'll see how that plays out. Again, we'll take this on a day-by-day basis, and we could change with further market action. But right now, I would put the odds with higher stock prices and lower bond prices. The dollar, it had a good rally yesterday, but this upper band is the resistance area. If the dollar were to break lower from here, then I think the downtrend will continue. If the dollar were to close above the bands, then that could be the start of a new uptrend. But right now, I'm looking for the dollar to continue lower from here. Cocoa had a bearish day today. This could just be a higher test of the low. Because we made a double bottom. That first bottom you can't really see too well there, but this could just be a higher test of low. I'm still not going to turn bearish cocoa because I've mentioned in a couple newsletters and in some of my mentoring information and different things. When it makes these bars above the bands and comes down here, even though it goes back below the bands, I don't go short because I found a lot of times that this will just be a higher test of the low. So I would not be surprised to see cocoa find support in this area and then turn higher, and then I'd be looking to buy. So right now, that's what I think is going on in cocoa. Coffee looks like it's at a low. It hasn't put in a buy signal yet. And what the indicator I have on the bottom of these charts is the MACD histogram. And the histogram is the signal line minus the other line of the MACD. And that's how you get the histogram, and that's a good indicator to look at. See how coffee looks like it's turning up here. And I haven't really got a buy signal in coffee, but I just think a low's in, and coffee's heading higher. The MACD shows the momentum is positive for coffee. Sugar, we were long and we got stopped out today, but we did make a profit. I think this is just a higher test of the low in sugar. These markets, they do that. They'll make a base, they'll make the first move higher, and then they'll slam down and test the base and scare everybody out, and then they'll take back off to the upside. And I really think that's what sugar's going to do. Again, we'll just take it day by day and see. If sugar heads higher from here, we'll probably try to get long sugar again. We went long right above this bar, and then I brought the stop up to below this bar, so we made probably $300 or $400 on this trade. It could have been better if I would have sold into here, but I just thought it looked like sugar could be taken off to that side. So hindsight is 100%. 2020, whatever you want to call it. So now I think it's just testing this lower band and going to head higher. Okay, natural gas. This is a market I really think has some tremendous upside potential. We're at major lows, all-time low prices in natural gas, and I'm starting to hear, it's getting more in the news how natural gas is a clean fuel and a fuel we can use in the future, and I just think the demand for natural gas is going to be growing. Natural gas is trading above the bars, and I think this is a good market to consider for the long side, and we are long in the premium newsletter. Natural gas, and actually we're long natural gas in the premium stock newsletter UNG. We're going long that. Crude, see, this is making a bullish divergence here on the MACD histogram, and I think a low's in for crude. If it's not in, it's very close to being in, but I expect crude to head higher from here. Gold, again, I think that we're closer to the low in gold. Gold might have some more downside left, but I think we're close to a major low in gold. I'm seeing some people expecting like a big down move from here. I don't think that's going to happen. I could be wrong. But again, when these markets keep making these higher lows, that's bullish. And even if gold were to come down here and make a double bottom, we're still in the area of a low. I don't think gold would take out this low by much. It could, even if it came down to around the $1,500 area. I still think gold is in the area of a low, and we're going to more be looking to buy gold than sell gold. With this being an election year, I don't follow the fundamentals too much, but I think they're going to do everything they can do to not let the stock market drop, and that will probably mean, easy money, printing money, quantitative easing, whatever you want to call it. And I got a feeling that that is going to make gold and silver go higher. Um, Lean hogs, bearish divergence, and I think lean hogs may have started to break lower here. I might even have a sell signal for that. I'm going to have to look at my premium newsletter. I look at a few other things, but lean hogs looks lower. And I found that the hogs and the cattle usually trade opposite the grains. Again, there's nothing that happens the same all the time, but normally the hogs and the live cattle trade opposite the grains, and the grains look bullish and look like they're heading higher. So I'm expecting lower prices for the meats right now. Now, live cattle is below the bands and in a downtrend, so I'm still expecting lower prices. I just go with the trend. It's in a downtrend and it looks lower. Corn. They said on the news last night that this is the second driest June we've had in history since they've been keeping records in Iowa, and the first driest was basically no rain. So we have had hardly any rain in June, and people are saying half a corn crop is what we're going to get. They're expecting some rain on Sunday, but the thing about it is it's so hot here. It's been about 90 degrees every day, and they're forecasting like 90 degrees all next week. If it rains a little bit, it just evaporates. So I really think there is a good chance that this is going to be a big drought year in corn, and there is tremendous upside potential for all these grains. And with that being said, I always want to leave the disclaimer in there. Of course, I could be wrong, but I think right now the grains have a lot of upside potential. And what we're going to do in these newsletters, if they do take off like I think they're going to take off, we're going to keep buying. I'm going to look for every instance to buy on these grains and average up. We're long right now, mini corn contract, and like I said, if this thing takes off and starts trending, I'll buy more, contracts as it goes up in the newsletter. So This is a great time to get signed up for the mentoring. That you get all three newsletters, stocks, futures, and forex, lifetime subscriptions, and I'm putting out some mentoring lessons that are just out of this world. I got something coming up this weekend that I think is a gold mine for traders, and I think it's something that people really don't quite understand and don't quite use that often. And with these markets where they're at, I think this lesson is well worth $1,000 all on its own. And I'm putting that out. That's my big project this weekend. I got a little trick. It's with the ETFs and the stock market on how to trade those. Um, Using like trading the silver ETF, the natural gas ETF, corn ETF. There's we can trade these commodities in the stock market under with the ETFs, and it's less risk because you can buy how many shares you want, so you can keep the risks down lower than in the futures markets. And I'm adding a lot of those to my premium stock newsletter. So if you're interested in trading commodities, but they're a little too risky for you under normal conditions, and you have a stock market account, you can be trading commodities with my ETFs and my stock newsletter. They have cotton ETF, they have sugar, they pretty much have about everything. I'm still looking for a few. I haven't found a soybean or a wheat, but they probably have it. I'm trying to get as many commodities trading under the ETFs as I can in my premium stock newsletter. Now beans above the bands, test the band, back above the bands. This is all bullish action. The MACD histogram is in bullish territory. It's above the zero line, and I just think higher prices are ahead for soybeans. Even if it did rain this weekend and Monday maybe we had a little down move just because we got a little rain over the weekend, I still think then a few days later, what the news is going to be, no rain for another 3 or 4 days, and then I still think just this thing in the long term, unless something really changes here, this is going to be overall a drought year for the grains, and I think the grains are going to be a great market to be in. And we're long beans, we're long wheat, and we're long corn right now. I haven't gotten long oats yet. We might be getting long oats. Wheat's above the band, and I think this market's heading higher. We'll take a look at oats, and then that's it for commodities. I might do another video for stocks. I wanted to kind of go over all the commodities for since it's the weekend, but now here oats had a good update today. It did come off a little off the high. That could just be because Friday. A lot of times they won't want to take the trade home. Whoever got long might have just sold out at the top there as a little day trade type thing. But we got a little M type, or excuse me, W type bottom, double bottom here, and it went through the W middle today. So I think oats, I might have a buy signal for oats this weekend. Again, I'll have to look at it. But oats looks higher too, so I'm bullish the grains. I'm bullish natural gas. I think there are some big opportunities here. I think we'll look at silver real quick. Gold is if it's not put in a low, it's close to the low. And silver, here's another one that I just think this has got tremendous upside potential. I mean, again, I don't like to look at the fundamentals too much, but it just seems like they're going to have to print money to get us out of this debt situation we're in. I don't see how they can get around it, and printing money is going to cause the metals to go up. And again, the disclaimer, I can be wrong, because I don't want people to say, well, Jim's predicting print money and stuff, because I'm really not predicting that. I'm just saying it just looks like that's going to happen. I'm just trying to. But anyway, silver, this just looks like a classic double bottom here. And silver can trade a little bit lower. It could go down to 26. When I say a double bottom, if it's a little lower low, I still consider that a double bottom. I mean, a nice exact double bottom it's making right now. If silver were to trade down another dollar an ounce or something, I would still consider that a double bottom, which is the lower bottom. When the way I don't consider it a double bottom anymore, and this is just my own way of doing things. Everybody has their own way. You might call it something else, but because some people might just say a double bottom's when it makes an exact double bottom. But to me, it would have to go like way down here before I would quit calling it a double bottom, like maybe $25, $24 an ounce. But if it's at 26, it's just a double bottom with the second low being a little lower down. If you follow Elliott wave, you could consider this as 3, 4, and then maybe this is a fifth wave down. And if you do follow Elliott wave, you'll know that usually the fifth waves do go below the third wave, so it would just make sense for a little lower low here. But I would not surprised to see silver just turn right here from Monday and go higher. So I think silver's at a low. There's tremendous upside potential in here, and this is one of the markets I'm going to be going over this weekend in my mentoring for a good low risk way to trade that with the ETFs in the stock. So I would definitely sign up for that mentoring if you're interested in some of these things I'm talking about. So have a great weekend. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoy the video. This is Jim with ProfitTrading.com.